So today I'm going to be comparing both the Nintendo Switch version 2 and the new Nintendo Switch Lite. One of the first things I'm going to talk about is of course the looks and how both of them feel on the hand and the type of materials they have. Now the first thing I noticed about the new Nintendo Switch Lite, it is about an inch smaller than the original Switch. The size of the Nintendo Switch Lite is a little over 8 inches. And if I compare it to the original Switch, this one is exactly 9.5 inches. So I say that the original Switch is a little over an inch longer than the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now there's another difference between the heights of both Nintendo Switches. The Nintendo Switch Lite is around 3.5 inches in height, and the regular Nintendo Switch is about 4 inches or so. The next thing is most likely the size of the screens. If I get my measuring tape, you see that the screen is exactly 5.5 inches in size. And if I measure the original Switch, it's a little over 6 inches. And looking at both of these Switches, the same color that's on the Nintendo Switch Lite is pretty much the same exact color on the gray version of the original Switch. But the one thing that you could tell right off is that both of these do have different materials. On the Nintendo Switch Lite, the material on this, it feels kind of grainy and kind of tough. You know, it doesn't feel as smooth as the original Switch feels. This one feels very, very good. It feels like this material is more expensive. Same thing with the back. If I turn both of these switches here, the same material that's on the front of the Switch Lite, it's pretty much the same material all around it, including the back of the Switch. And another thing I want to talk about is the buttons itself. The Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch Lite feel the same exact as the original ones. There's no difference there. You can still click on the thumb grips here. They still have the same exact rubber material like they're on the original ones. Between both of the thumbsticks, the Nintendo Switch is a tad bit bigger than the original one. And the same thumb grips that fit on your Nintendo Switch will also fit on the Nintendo Switch Lite. So if I just put them on, they install the same exact way as I was doing it on the original. And as you can see there, the same exact size, you will feel no type of difference. Now, even though the thumbsticks are the same exact, the buttons are a different story, because on the Nintendo Switch Lite, these are very smushy. These feel normal. Well, they don't feel cheap, but they do feel smushy compared to the original Nintendo. So as you can see, these feel clickier. Same exact thing with the opposite side. The top buttons here, even though they're the exact same size, they do feel different as well. Just like on the Lite, when they feel kind of smushy compared to the original one. The thickness between both of them are pretty much exactly the same. You will not feel no difference. Although on the Nintendo Switch Lite, we have the speakers facing downwards, as you can see there. Compared to the original Nintendo, we got the speakers facing forward. So most likely these, you're gonna get better audio than these, because these are facing downwards compared to the original ones, which are facing towards you. And of course on the bottom we have the USB Type-C charger. Both of these have the same exact charger, no difference there. Although we do have the 2 slots here for the dock. The Nintendo Switch Lite does not have these 2 slots. I'm gonna take out the dock, and of course the bad thing about the Nintendo Switch Lite is that the dock, you cannot use it. As you can see there, if I try to insert it in, it's not gonna fit because the buttons get in the way. Yeah, as you can see, if I try to fit it in, the thumbstick here gets in the way. So you cannot physically insert it inside the dock because these thumbsticks will get in the way and they're not gonna fit. And on the back, you see that both of them have the Switch logo, which on the Nintendo Switch Lite, the logo is a lot brighter and it does look more white than on the original Switch. And yes, the Nintendo Switch Lite does not have the stand here that the original Nintendo Switch has there. This does not have this. As you can see there, this is where the micro SD card is located at. The Nintendo Switch Lite does not have this stand. But even though it doesn't have it, it does have the micro SD card slot at the bottom here, which is completely covered by this flap. And another thing is the weight between both of these devices. This feels a lot more lighter than the original Nintendo Switch. This one feels more portable. This one feels like you could carry it with 2 fingers. Basically, you could carry it like with a couple of fingers without worrying about dropping it, because that's how light this feels. It's not too light, but it does feel very portable compared to the original one, which does have the bigger screen. It feels heavier. I do not feel comfortable holding this Switch with 2 fingers or 3 fingers. As you can see there, I do not feel comfortable doing this. With the Nintendo Switch Lite, this feels light, it feels slim compared to this one, which feels a lot heavier. And this one feels like I have to have my whole entire hand wrapped around the Switch instead of having a couple fingers holding it. Now, the one thing I do give the Nintendo Switch Lite is this one does feel more sturdy than the original Switch, because whenever you try to twist the Switch here, it doesn't creak. It doesn't sound like it's cracking or anything like that. It basically stays intact the way it is. Now, compared to the original Switch, since these are Joy-Cons, you could separate them. If you try to twist the Switch around, as you can see there, you could hear and you could see the shakiness of the Joy-Cons attached to the screen there. There's a huge difference there. That's one bright side about the Nintendo Switch Lite. Setting up the Nintendo Switch Lite, it was the same exact process as the original Nintendo Switch. Now let me turn both of them off. Okay, now both of them look off. Now let me turn them back on here. I'm clicking the power button right now. 1, 2. And as you can see here, the Nintendo Switch is turning on faster here. The logo pops up first, and as you can see there, the Nintendo Switch turned on faster, and it also restarted faster than the original. Not by much, but it is quicker. Let me press A on both of them. A. Yeah, same exact thing. Not much of a difference there. Okay, so now I'm going to test out the speakers and the video quality. Keep in mind that both of the Switches have the highest volume and the highest brightness. So let me start. So as you saw and heard, both of them do look alike, but the original Nintendo Switch does sound a tad bit louder than the Nintendo Switch Lite. And just in case if you're wondering, you could connect wireless controllers into the Nintendo Switch Lite. So if I just click on controllers here, I go to change grip and order, click OK. And when you're on this screen, all you have to do is just click on the sync buttons here. Let me click on the, okay, there we go. Alright, and now let me click on the sync button. Okay, there we go. See, both of them are connected. So let me just go to Super Mario game here. Let me select it. Let me select this. Okay, now let me see if I could choose 3 players with these 2 and this controller pad at the same time. Okay, yeah. It looks like you cannot play the Nintendo Switch Lite with the other controllers connected to the Switch itself. Yeah, you're gonna have to get another Switch controller, and if you want to play 3 players or 4, but you cannot use the Nintendo Switch Lite itself. So playing a video game on the Nintendo Switch Lite The screen is a tad bit smaller, as you can see there, by half an inch, but nonetheless you could still play it like if you were playing on the original one. It's only a slight screen difference there. Playing on the Nintendo Switch Lite does feel way more portable. For an adult hand, this console fits perfectly. It fits very good. You feel like you have more control, you have more grip of the controller since it's a smaller size. Playing handheld with this console does a great job, as you're seeing there. And especially if you have smaller hands as like little kids, this console will be perfect. The buttons are the same exact sizes, so you don't have to worry about that, and it's way more controllable. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed both of the comparison between the Lite and the original. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.